星読みの魔術師とスケール8の時読みの魔術師でペンデュラムスケールをセッティング。揺れろ魂のペンデュラム。天空に描け光のアーク。ペンデュラム召喚。入れよ我がしもべのモンスターたちを。
Hey there YouTube, this is Antafe on DualShock Channel. Sorry guys, I am using a different camera for this, so if the audio or something sounds weird, I'm sorry for doing so. But my webcam on my actual computer is not working. It's either pretty much at this point either a factory set or I get another camera. And the thing is, if I do a factory set, all my programs that I bought and paid for will pretty much be null and void, and I would have to pay for them again. So I really don't want to do that. I'm probably just going to end up getting another camera, and that's honestly what I wanted to do in the first place. So it's probably about that time, and hopefully when the next Windows update comes up, I'll be able to get you guys videos from a webcam or however. But that's besides the point. We were doing this week's weekly deck profile. I love this deck. The original deck that I'd done this for, I admit, it really sucked. It was such a scrub deck. And honestly, and that's what it was meant for. It was meant for, lower tier players. Because, I mean, I really don't like the word scrub, but, I still use it, especially towards myself. But yeah, we are doing wind-ups. My first wind-up deck sucked so horribly that I was almost tempted to actually delete the video because it started getting really bad of how negative the comments and the following it was of it. I mean, I was very excited that I was getting feedback, but it's I really don't want people coming around just talking trash to me just for no reason. I mean, it was a for fun deck. This is a much more competitive build. I'm not saying this is ready to go to a regionals or YCS or whatever. Please don't assume that. Mainly, this is just a build that if you actually want to take this to a local, if you actually want to take this to play this against a someone who plays a little more competitively, if I can actually say the word, this is a great build for it. So we'll just get right into it. The monsters, Wind Up Magician, I really wish Wind Up Magician was, the 3, but they would probably kill Factory. And honestly, I like Factory for more than Magician, because Magician's effect can always be dealt with, because you can only activate his effect once while he's on the field, so you either have to bounce him back to the hands or some other fashion. And he doesn't have that much attack, so usually you're going to kind of try to put him in defense, but in reality that's not going to really work. So, he's a great card, but Factory, in my sense, is a little bit more consistent at this point. So I only have 2 rats, which actually doesn't really bother me, because the rat on top of rat on top of rat is not that big in this this deck. That's not such a major play, but it's still a great card, and I still love it. I, of course, do have the triple Wind-Up Rabbit. Wind-Up Rabbit is such a good card. For those that do not know what Wind-Up Rabbit does, basically, you target one of your wind-ups and you banish them, and they come back during the next standby phase. And the really cool about Wind-Up Rabbit is, of course, you can only activate its effects once while it's on the field. So if you have, like, 2 of them, you can bounce one, and then when it comes back, you can bounce the other one, and, of course, with Factory, you can just get multiple pluses. Or, you can have it go for the poke. Opponent activates Mirror Force. Chain Whip his effect, banish, doesn't get destroyed, comes back during your next turn, boom. So it's a very good card. I love it very much. Triple Wind-Up Shark, of course. Basically, yet again, he can boost or decrease his level by 1 once per turn, and also if a Wind-Up monster would be normal summoned or special summoned, you can special summon him and go for an instant AZ, which is great. The kind of tech for my wind-ups right now, which, I mean, it's not very needed for the wind-up play of it, because, I mean, this is pretty much the core, like, one more route would be preferred, but, Wind-Up Warrior, I know that might seem kind of dumb, but Wind-Up Warrior is a little bit better to me than some of the other ones, and you kind of need, multiple wind-ups, because between Magician and Factory, you're going to kind of bring them out a little too fast at times. But basically, he can boost himself up to level 5 and increase his attack by 600. And technically, he can do it to any face-up wind-up. So to me, I think that's just really awesome. But he's pretty much just EXE fodder or fodder for my Redux. And I like Redox because it allows you to special summon your windups back. And of course, when they get special summoned, they can use their effects, or Shark is in your hand, and that gets special summoned. There's a lot of plays you can do with it. And, just, something as simple as just banishing can, just banishing the two warriors, then bring him out for 3,000 shield will really help sometimes, because this deck, I don't want to say it's inconsistent, but it's very slow. It's a very slow start, but there's plenty of defensive cards that allow you to kind of keep up your shield, keep up your life points, and to keep you going. So let me keep that right there. Basically, for my actual attacks, the one Redox, I do run 2 bears. Basically, of course, you guys pretty much figured out, of course, I run Tanky to search out Rabbit, but also I like Bear because I can search out Rabbit or just draw into Rabbit very easily, or, just basically get it by any other means. And, of course, the Tanky Bear pop is, it's very good, it's very consistent, and it's very useful because your opponent won't have to use resources to get rid of Bear while they're not really pertaining to your windups, so that's really good for you. And, of course, the last monster would be Grand Mole. So, yeah. For the Magics, of course, the one Dark Hole, staple. I only have 2 Wind-Up Factories yet again. It's just like, it's not very expensive, but it's not easy to come by. I can't just trade for this card. I mean, its only print was, give me a sec. Generation Force. It's a very good card. I remember when I first saw Wind-Ups, I loved them. I loved how the Magic card would play into it. And I thought continuous spells were, too slow or something. To me, it was just like, I thought, Swords was too slow. I thought Swords was too slow, or this was too slow, or this, or this, or this. But no, it's Wind-Up Factory. Worked almost every time. 2 Kaiser Coliseums. Yes, one is OCG, but, so to me. But, it really helps because you can just sit, you can pretty much sit on that Rabbit during your turn, or Grand Mole, and you can just sit there, and as soon as they go to their battle phase with, Rabbit, you just bounce it, and of course you might get hit for a little bit, but basically they can't go for a major power play. I mean, recently I played against, Shadow Hex. I can't think tonight, I'm sorry guys. Shadow Hex, 6 Samurai deck, it just swarms the field so easily, and hopefully you'll be able to get a decent deck profile for you guys. But really, it's just Kaiser Coliseum just kills a lot of things. Bujin players just love it. Not to make fun of them or anything that happened at Nationals. Helmet. Yeah. So after that, triple MST, because back row is annoying. Back row is so annoying, it can hurt, especially Torrential, especially Solemn. Compulse is kind of 50-50. Bottomless, you don't really have to worry about Bottomless because almost all your monsters have less than 1,500 attack, so it's not that big of a deal. But, Mirror Force and other things can get in the way. And honestly, I'm not scared of artifacts. If someone brings out artifacts, if someone is like, okay, I'm going to Tekken Raw Talk or Scythe or, whatever, go ahead, I'll pop it, I don't care. Go ahead, just do it. I know exactly how to play against, artifacts. It's not that hard. So, of course, the triple Tanky, I mean, you have 5 targets in the deck, and you can actually draw into none of them, and then you get the 1 Tanky, and then shit gets going. So, and to round off the Magics, I put in triple Pod Duality. Now, I know why you guys are saying, well, then you can't special summon. You can't use Rabbit's effect to bring it back, or if it gets brought back, you can't have Pod Duality. Well, hold on. Remember why I said that this deck is very slow? Pod Duality can actually help a lot more than not. I mean, honestly, I would like to get, I really want to hope on the fuck out of this deck, triple Upstart, triple Reckless. It's just trying to find room for it and trying to make it so it kind of eases together. It's just one of those things, honestly, I'd probably end up taking, the triple MST out for Upstarts just to speed up this deck. But, Pod Duality doesn't hurt whatsoever, so. For the traps, 1 Bottomless, 1 Compulse, or 1 Torrential, and 1 Compulse, sorry. The triple threat, if you don't have Solemn, these guys are pretty, these cards are pretty easy to come by. Someone always has, an extra Torrential or something. I have, I have, 1 for almost every deck, and the same with, Compulse or Bottomless, so, yeah. Double Mirror Force, even though it's up to 3 now, I still only do the 2. Only certain decks I will do 3. Basically just to kind of, because I have so many decks, I really want to be careful how many Mirror Forces I put in one deck, because that can really determine how the game can go. Because your opponent could be like, okay, pop that. Oh, I forgot you have a 3rd Mirror Force. No. Or he just doesn't care and just allows you to blow through all your Mirror Forces for no reason, and then he gets you. And that's the thing. I think triple Mirror Force is actually kind of bad in a sense, because people put a little bit too much reliance on their Mirror Forces again instead of their monsters. But that's besides the point. Double Trap Stun, yet again, backwards, really annoying. And that's the thing. I run the Double Trap Stun with the triple MST, because Trap Stun only does trap cards, but there's also some magic cards I get really annoying, and MST really helps that. And then of course my lovely tech for traps is Overwind. I love this card so much. It's basically a Bujingi Crane for windups, and a lot of people will say it's crap. It's not good. You should never play it. But seriously, it's you activate it, you target one face of windup, its attack and defense gets doubled. You can activate this during the damage stuff. So, for instance, you could set... Give me a second. You could set your Magician. It's set face down. You have 1 Overwind face down. Your opponent goes for attack. You don't do anything. They don't do anything. The attack goes through. Flip. Damage step is automatically entered as soon as you flip the card. Activate Overwind. Magician's defense becomes 36. If your opponent still destroys it, there was no point of even activating Overwind. But yet again, it allows you to get over, or not really get over, but just to shield up so much. And it stays like that until, the end phase. So it's just, it's such a good card. And it's like, unless your opponent does something, unless you're playing a Bujin player, I really doubt that someone's going to get over this card. So yeah, that's pretty much the main deck. Let's go right into the extra deck. Of course, triple Zimains is such a good. It's to me, it's stable. I mean, you can run 3 so heavily in this deck. It's just why would you want anything else? Want to run for your rank 4s? I run the number 44 and Maestro. And of course, if you guys haven't noticed, actually I took these out of my Utopian Chaos deck. I'm actually going to put my Utopian Chaos deck to the side for a little bit. So I actually can't read up these cards for this deck. And they work perfectly fine. Yet again, a good shield, and also Pegasus allows to either pop a monster or you put a list of 1,000, which to me is really good. Windup Zenmeister, if I pronounced that correctly. Zenmeister is not really like a really good card that everyone should run for a wind-up deck, but I think 1 is good enough. 1, yet again, Overwind can help him out so much because basically he gets 300 attack for each unit that he has, so he's pretty much at his top of 25 beat stick. Overwind makes him 5,000 and so forth. And of course, with his effect, he can flip any wind-up monster to face down defense position, which can yet again activate. He's pretty much a monster version of Wind-Up Key. Wind-Up Key, which used to be like really crazy good. But he's not very needed for a playing stance. He's just really cool I think to have because I got him as a secret. So then of course to kind of top it off with your rank 4s would be Ragna Zero. Ragna Zero just helps just get over a lot of cards that Bujins, Fire Fist, anything that boosts any attack or any stat change really. For your rank 5s, of course, Zenmayo. Zenmayo is such a good card. You should, if you have one and you want to build a wind-up, use it. I mean, there's no other, I only have 1. I would prefer to have 2. But, 1 still works great for me. And, of course, Tyrius, the Keeper of Genesis, which, of course, I already had these 2 in the deck as last time. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Comment, like, subscribe. Tell me what you guys think. Also, I'm gonna start doing every deck profile now. I'm going to make a list of every card in that deck profile in the description down below. So please, if you guys didn't understand what I was saying or couldn't hear me quite right, please check that. Also in the description down below, there'll be 2 links. One link will be to the Dual Swift Facebook page. Please check that out. And also will be to me on Twitter. Please check that also out. And as always, thanks for watching.